Our next speaker is representing actually an institution and two people. So our next speaker is Andy Rubin, who is part of our funding base, but also a collaborator, and that it's not about firing and forgetting. It's about being engaged, and I certainly appreciate his advice and help as I've been finding my feet here at Lancaster. We also have Stephen Rubin with us as well, online as well, who is part of that journey as well, and is indeed the chair of my advisory board. So absolutely delighted that both of you are here, but also delighted to hand over to you, Andy.
Thank you very much. This is a wonderful example of a hybrid online ability to get together. So as Jan said, I'm Andy Rubin, representing the Pentner Group. I'm a third generation owner and deputy chair of our family company. We operate in sporting goods and retail. Our story goes back to 1932. We were founded in Liverpool, not far from Lancaster, by my grandfather, who was an immigrant to this country, who arrived with no money and not speaking English. He borrowed £200 from friends and family and started a shoe business. 89 years and 3 generations later, we have global revenues over £6 billion and employ 55,000 people across 20 countries. As Pentland, we own brands such as Speedo in swimwear, LS in tennis and ski, Canterbury in rugby, Berghaus in the outdoors, Endura in cycling, and Mitre in football. We're also the majority owners of JD Sports Fashion PLC, a publicly listed retailer based in Bury, again not far from Lancaster, operating in sports fashion with over 3,000 stores in 20 countries. As a private family business, we can take a long-term view. Unlike many businesses in our world, a quarter is 25 years. As a company, we're on a journey to align purpose and profit and ensure that we make our contribution to solving problems of people and planet. To align ourselves with global initiatives and benchmark against the best, we signed up to the UN Global Compact 20 years ago, and in our brand division, we focus our positive business initiatives against 8 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Last year, as you heard from Angus and from Jan, we agreed to extend our sponsorship of the Rubin Chair in Sustainability and to continue to fund the important work of the Pentland Centre for Sustainability in Business here at Lancaster into a second 5-year term. We're very proud of this association, bringing together the best minds in academia and business to try and contribute to solving some of the world's biggest problems. The Pentland Centre was established in 2015, and at the launch, my chair, who I also call Dad, who is in on this call, Stephen Rubin, said, having worked in the area of sustainability for a very long time, it seems to me that there is still so much short-termism in corporate life. We have to realize that in the world we are living in, we cannot endlessly waste resources. We need to lay the foundation stones for those generations that follow. It is my hope that the Pentland Centre for Sustainability in Business can utilize academic and practical insights to scale up business solutions for sustainability and to enable business leaders to make more courageous decisions. In 2020, at the completion of the first 5-year phase of the Pentland Centre's work, and importantly, during Jeffrey's tenure as interim director, Stephen said, "It is with a measure of gratification during this particularly extraordinary time for us all that we can look back at the solid way in which the Pentland Centre has planted its roots and begun to flourish. I hope that the Pentland Centre has now become an integral part of Lancaster University and can look forward to many years of productive research and collaboration, helping to solve some of the world's biggest problems." As interim director of the Pentland Centre, I met with Jeffrey several times. I admired how keen he was to learn about how we as a company associated with Lancaster University, aligned ourselves against the UN SDGs. I could clearly see that he saw us as a living case study. We discussed the challenges business face to minimize harm to the planet, particularly through a business like ours with a complex global supply chain, where many aspects of what we do are subcontracted to third parties. We discussed how we measure our progress, and he was always keen to help us understand how we could account for what we do and how we contribute. Geoffrey had a very nice, calm, understated manner, but he asked great questions that were well thought through and delivered with a softness that belied the perceptiveness of his line of questioning. Our company will be 100 years old in 2032, and to mark this anniversary, our brands division has set out an ambitious, positive business strategy known as 100-1-0. This has 3 targets by 2032 that I know Geoffrey would have approved of. To help 100 million consumers live positive, active, sustainable lives. To improve the lives of 1 million people in communities where we work. And to be a net zero business by 2032. So I'd like to take this opportunity to pay tribute to Geoffrey. He was clearly a pioneer in sustainability accounting, working in the field before people knew what it meant. He clearly had the foresight to be able to predict that we would need to account for our corporate activity in all areas of sustainability to ensure that we are held accountable and can then work together to minimize harm to our planet. COP26 is showing the world why we need to do more to solve the biggest problems of people and planet. But Geoffrey knew this was coming 3 decades ago. We wish his family and friends sincere condolences, and hopefully they will take comfort in knowing that Geoffrey's legacy in the academic and business world lives on and will help us all be better companies and citizens of this great planet. We now look forward to seeing how his work inspires the research being led by Professor Jan Bevington, who you've met, and her team at the Pentland Centre. So thank you from us at Pentland to all of you for being here to honour Geoffrey, and I wish you a great symposium.